Hello, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm gonna do a talking video, and it's about my experience in some of the European country that I traveled to. I remember I did already another video, so I'm gonna call this one part 2. And this time we traveled to some of the country, I would say East Europe, and it started from here, Bremen. We left Bremen and we decided to do it with a car because that time I was heavily pregnant. And even though I was heavily pregnant, my pregnancy was not really that bad. I was not really having this sickness that normally pregnant women had. I had it at the beginning, but after that, it was only maybe a month. After that, it was smooth. I can do everything. But we decided that we're gonna travel, but we're gonna travel by car, which is gonna make for us flexible to do anything we want. If in case I start having contrast, I can contrast or a contrast. Know what I mean? So, if I used to be high sense of Deutsch, I don't know what is it called in English. Yeah, but I think you know what I mean. And then if something happened, then we can just drive into the hospital, and yeah. And we started here from Bremen. That was in September. No, yeah, I think it was, yeah, it was towards September, the end of October, and August. Oh my God, there goes the Deutsch again. At the end of August, towards September, we left Bremen to our main aim was to go to Czech Republic, which is Prague, and we booked that in advance with few stops so that we can have rest and yeah, just to explore those little towns and cities along the way. We left Bremen and headed to Leipzig. Leipzig is a city in Deutschland, so we spent the night in Leipzig. Leipzig is very, very beautiful, and it's student city. We just spent the night there, and then the next day we did a little tour around the city, and then later on we drove. Our next stop was also a city in Deutschland which is called Dresden. I was so impressed by Dresden. Dresden is a very beautiful city, and we arrived there I think it was a little bit late. It's a little bit evening, so we went to our accommodation and put our things down. We went for a walk, and then later on we ended up at the restaurant to eat something, and then we did also walk around, especially I call this town, this part of the town. It's called the Old Stadt or the Altstadt or Old City. We explored there, and later on in the evening we also went home because I was so exhausted. Even though I was really fit, I can walk, although I was pregnant, I was so exhausted. We went home and take a shower, slept, and the next day in the morning we decided we're gonna do more of the city because we did not see more. And then we packed our things, we went to the city center, and then went to a breakfast spot, a cafe. We had breakfast, and then we did still the tour of the city, and then in the afternoon we decided now we are gonna go to our main destination, which was Czech Republic, which is Prague. And we were so excited about that because that's in Prague. We booked for more than, I think, 5 days. Yeah, it was 5 days or 5 nights at a B&B in one of those block houses. It was really a different experience coming from Deutschland and going that side. That was for me the first time to be in East Europe, and I was like, wow, okay, it's totally different. We spent the 5 days. The first night we arrived, we just decided, no, we're just gonna chill, not do anything. The next day we drove into the city and park our car and explore the city. And then we came across these places where you can book a boat, so you can do a boat tour. We did that, and I was so surprised to see that there was also a black person who was also offering this. He was like letting us come. At least he speaks English, like, oh, okay. We booked a tour. We did a tour, and later on we walked back home. And the next day we also came. It was really interesting, and it was this Barnov train station. From the train station we bought souvenir, and then we went to the famous bridge, Karlsbrücke or Charles Bridge, I think it's called like that in English. We did photos. It was, even though it was towards the end of summer, but it was still full, and it was warm. It's not really that very cold, very cold or very hot. It was really warm and neutral. And then we went to this place where they sell ice cream. I find it very interesting, this ice cream in the cone made out of dough. And that place we went also in one of their restaurant and ordered something and ate, and it was really a very nice experience. I like the people there. They were really friendly, but most of them, they don't speak English, but they try their best to make it so that you understand what they're saying. But most of the time, to the people who don't really understand what we're saying in English, we use Google Translator. And then we went to our accommodation. We went to the, in our accommodation, close to there is a supermarket. It's a supermarket. I was also surprised. Most of the kids, maybe they never seen a black person before where I was staying. They were just really staring at me, and I was like, okay, I can understand this kind of situation. Yeah, it was really nice in Prague. We stayed there 5 nights. What would we do? It's just typical tourist things that we did all the time. And then after a few days, and then our next destination was Budapest. That's in Hungary. We drove from Prague to Budapest also. And in Budapest, we decided to stay there for 3 nights. And we booked our accommodation, and all the accommodation which we booked it was booked by Airbnb, because what else if it's not Airbnb? Because we got a very nice offer. And in this accommodation in Budapest, there's a small apartment downstairs. The owner live upstairs, and it was really nice. It was just an apartment with everything, although it looks not so good outside, but the inside is really newly renovated, very clean, and I like that apartment. And we stayed there. We arrived at our accommodation because our host, the owner, is a man, and I think he was at work, and we wrote him that we have arrived, and then he said, just let me call my husband, let me call my wife, because she's at home, to open for you and give you the key. The wife came. She was having a baby. She was carrying a baby, and then she looked at me because that she was heavily pregnant. The way she reacted with her eyes like a little bit shocked. She was maybe thinking, wow, she's so heavily pregnant. Is she gonna give birth in her apartment or something? And I was later on we talk about it, me and my husband, what was the reaction all about? I don't know, maybe she was so feeling pity for me that I was so heavily pregnant, because she had also a baby recently, and I was like, okay. She gave us the key. She don't speak English, but yeah, she just gave her the key and tried to say hello, and she went upstairs. And then the next day, we decided we're gonna do some tour. Took the train instead of going with the car. We took the train from accommodation. It's not so far anyway. Took the train, and then we arrived in the city center, and then we went to these places. What is it called? This place? Hero Square. Yeah, there was soldier marching and sightseeing, and then we also went to this bridge. I think, what is the bridge called? It's called Chain Bridge. Yeah, we took pictures. It was really Budapest is also one of the beautiful city. And at the end, we went to Spa, and I was so happy to see Spa because Spa is a supermarket that's very common where I come from in Namibia. I was so happy to see Spa. Oh, at least I'm seeing Spa. I feel at home. We went to Spa and bought everything. I can stop comparing the Spa at home. That time I was also homesick. I was like, oh, seeing Spa really made me feel like, oh, I'm at home. They have almost the same settings in the supermarket, like they have one back at home. It's like, why don't we also have Spa at home in Deutschland? And then after 3 nights in Budapest, we went to our next destination. This time our next destination was just a stopover because our journey was almost coming to an end. It was in Nuremberg. Nuremberg's sorry. No, it was in Wien, Austria. We also wanted to pass by Wien, and we booked an accommodation because it was only one night in Wien. We decided, oh, we're going to just book a simple accommodation. It was in the city center. That's so because we also wanted to do that in the city center. And this accommodation stays two ladies. One of them was the one who was offering this room, just wanted a room. And then we slept. The room was not really good. I'm telling you, I never seen such experience. We came in our room, we put our things down, and then we went in the city center just to drive around, just to explore the city, and we also had dinner there, and then later on we came to sleep. It was really, just for us where we wanted to sleep. And then the next day, we normally do that. The next day we wanted to have tea and coffee in bed, and my husband went in the kitchen, wanted to make some tea, and then he discovered that there was a mug next to the coffee kocher with a with a hot water boiler, and it was in this mug. It was a worm in it, and I was like, what? I'm telling you. And then he came inside the room and he was telling me, I'm not gonna make tea, let's go, let's pack our things and go and have breakfast somewhere. And that is it. And then I'm saying, what's wrong? Said, no, I'm not gonna make tea here because in the kitchen it's things all over. In the kitchen it was not really clean, it was not really organized. All the things are all over on the counter, and there was a coffee tasse, a tea mug in it. It's a worm in it. And I was like, what? I said, yeah, let's go. And I think that was deliberately done by this person living in this accommodation. Maybe she didn't want that her roommate or housemate to rent out of the room and so on. I was really so disappointed, and we even wrote the review, put the picture, because we took a picture of it, put the picture on it. We wrote the review and even sent her the picture, and we wrote the message separate. And the review we wrote, we realized that she did not also write the review, so our review was not shown. It was not shown because I think she knew it, that we are not going to give her the good review. So anyway, that's why she was not really giving us the reviews or write the comments on it, how was our stay and so on. And yeah, I find it really, that's really not fair that people do such things. And on top of that, we even forgot our blanket. You know, those blankets that you normally carry, the small ones. I was carrying with me, and I would even forget it in the house. I was so pissed, and I was like, yeah, anyway, it's not worth it. And then we have our breakfast, and then we walk around the city, and then we drove. This time we decided to drive earlier. We drove. The next destination was Nuremberg, that is in Deutschland. So that time we're now on our way heading home because it was the end of our journey. We arrived in Nuremberg. In Nuremberg was also we booked also this almost the same kind of accommodation. 2 people living in an apartment. One of them was renting out this room, and yeah, in this apartment we're at least a little bit heavy. And what's good is that when you arrive in the apartment, it has a bathtub. When I saw a bathtub, I was so happy that I had this heavy bathtub. That time my legs were really starting to get thick. Was getting thick, and I was like, I'm gonna have a bathtub. And later on, the guy was also staying there. It was a guy's apartment, at least, maybe that's why. The guy was staying there. He came and said, hi, hello. He was really making, then we were in the kitchen making something. He came, also in the kitchen, was making something. We told him where we are and where we are from. He was really communicative. He was like, hey, what are you guys making? We said, we're making just something simple, noodles and so he was like, no, I'm gonna make noodles because he's Italian. I'm gonna make my own noodles. He make fresh noodles, then we can eat together. He make the noodle, then my husband make the sauce, and then we ate together. We have really a good conversation. He shares experience about living in Deutschland and how fascinating is Deutschland to him, just to see how almost each and every town has its own beer and all those things. It was really nice evening, and they were drinking wine, also water for sure, and have this good conversation when we shared with him our experience of the traveling that we're doing and where we live. It was like, one time when I come there, I can just give you a call. Like, yeah, for sure, do so. We give him our number just in case he comes this side and he can call us. It was really one of those places where I felt, oh. After that, I went in the bathtub, had a bathtub, and went to sleep. It was really nice. And the next day, it was almost an end where I decided, oh, I'm so tired, I don't need this walking anymore. Just gonna have breakfast here at home, and then maybe drive short trip in the city center of Nuremberg, and then we can go home, because I was really exhausted at the end of this trip. And we came home, and I got a nice well-deserved massage because my body was really changing. I was getting thick legs and so on, and that's the thing when you are so pregnant and traveling. But anyway, I enjoyed it. The good thing is that I didn't have any experience where I was complaining. I was really active, and one of the things that I did not like is this, how these people take advantages of tourists. We were in Prague. We were walking in one of those streets where the busy street. Someone wanted to sell us fake, the so-called fake facial cream. She was like, yeah, this one is good for you because we're also pregnant. It also changes your skin. It was like, my husband pulled me away. Please don't believe on those people. And then we went away, and we went past by. I was really like, oh, people. I enjoyed my trip in all those different countries, and I was really impressed to see the different part of the world that I was not used, because at that time it was also we were not really into traveling, and that was the beginning of most of our traveling outside of Deutschland, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I cannot say much bad about my experience. Everything was really good. I love all those countries. Yeah, in my next video, I'm probably gonna share with you our other travel experience, which was in Moscow, Russia, and also in Denmark, and as well as Zadar, and also a different part of Deutschland. And that was it. If you want to see more about my video and my life in Deutschland, just come next week again, and do tune in. Every week I do post a new video, and yeah, thank you very much to those who have recently subscribed. My name is Ndeo. I'm from Namibia, and I live in Deutschland. I share my experience in Deutschland, the ups and the downs, and everything that comes. So if you have any idea what should I talk about, what should I show you, please feel free to share it with me in the comment section, and I will appreciate it. And yeah, to come back next week again. And with that, I'm gonna say cheers, bye, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen.